I've never framed a house from start to finish ever in my life. As a matter of fact, the closest thing I've come to framing something this size was a barn that I built when I was in my early 20s, and it was done so poorly that I think it was later torn down when I sold the house. Two nights ago I couldn't sleep because I knew that the lumber was sitting up here. So I slept until about 4:45 in the morning, and I came up here, and the funny thing is the sun didn't come up until 7:30. I'm just kind of back in that mode again where I'm worrying a little bit about what I'm going to be able to get done before winter sets in. But as fast as things are going, I think I'm going to be fine. I don't want to jinx myself, but it's going up really well. I enjoy framing. It's something that satisfies my brain as far as the math is concerned, but again, I keep it pretty simple with just 16 on center. there. I'm going to show you how to do it. And you go, deep, deep, and you climb up. You want me to lift you up so you can see where you're going to go?
Come on! I hit this hammer.
Ah, I broke it. That's my favorite hammer. Don't hurt it. Come on, dude, you gotta hit it. Hey! Break it. It sounds like it's breaking. What do you think, Crazy? What do you think about your bedroom, Reedy?
I'm just gonna stay with Grandma. I'm just gonna dance all day.
You're just gonna dance all day?
Okay, come on, Reed.
Be careful. Let me first state the obvious by telling you that our lumber for the shop is on order, should be here in a week or two at most. The way that we're going to frame the shop is going to be different than the house, and some of these materials had to be brought in. In the meantime, I bought an excavator. A good friend of mine bought a bigger excavator for his business, and he had this Komatsu PC55, which I'd been thinking about. So I stopped by and talked to him. We made a deal. The rest is history. I was hoping to find something a little bit heavier than this particular excavator, but truth is, the excavator was local, it was in good condition, the price was right. The very first thing that I did was run the excavator up on the hill and work on the road to the off-grid cabin. The road that goes up there is a little bit squirrely, and I wanted to make it safe enough that if Cedar wanted to take the kids and go up there by herself, she could do this safely. The Komatsu PC55 is about a 12,000 pound excavator. Now this excavator has steel tracks, which is a bonus. Most of these excavators have rubber tracks. They'll last much longer than rubber tracks, and they're naturally not as prone to coming off. The downside to steel tracks is it doesn't move quite as fast as it would if it had rubber tracks. I ran the machine for a few hours before buying it, but within about 20 minutes I knew I had to have it. We've been looking for about a year for just the right piece of equipment for up here. While a four-wheel drive backhoe would have been nice, they just can't go the places an excavator can safely. One of the things that I want to get done is a driveway out in front of the shop. I want to pour about 20 feet by 40 feet right alongside the front of the shop where we can have a place to clean equipment off. And more than anything, have a place to put a basketball standard so me and my boys can shoot hoops once in a while. The excavator has a blade with a cutting edge on it. I could scratch down deep into the dirt and move dirt around much better than I could with that little skid steer. For the last month or so, there's been a water tank for sale that's identical in size to the tank that I already have that's inside this shed. We currently have a 2,500 gallon Norwesco tank. Over wintertime, we learned the hard way that when there's no sun, we're good for about 4 days. I worked out a deal to buy this second tank, and again it was close by, so now I just have to prep the area where the tank is going to go. The concern is once I plumb this tank into the other tank, I have to get some sort of a shelter built around it before it freezes up. I wasn't planning on doing this week, but it worked out perfectly. Now that I have the excavator, I have the ability to carry that tank up on the hill and set it properly. This excavator's got right at about 4,000 hours on it. It came with 2 buckets, one 30-inch wide bucket and one 18-inch wide bucket. This is perfect for what I need. At some point I'm going to stack some rocks against the hillside next to our house, and that 30-inch bucket with a thumb will be perfect for this. This excavator is more or less what's called a zero swing, which means it doesn't have a counterweight behind it. Now, taking it up on the hillside where I go, this is something I have to take into consideration. I'm about to carry a 400-pound water tank all the way up the hill, which the weight obviously isn't a problem. But having the boom straight up in the air while I'm going up the hill could potentially be. So I put the blade behind me while I went up the hill, and everything went perfect. Now I have this idea that I want to build a log cabin structure around these water tanks, partly because I want to build a log cabin, and partly because it wouldn't cost a whole lot to do this, and they typically have a pretty good R value. But so far, my little cheap shed that I built a couple years ago around our existing water tank has been fine. We've never had any freeze issues with the water tank thus far, and we've been well below zero in the dead of winter. So hopefully later in the summer I can get the shop dried in. Then maybe I'll have some time to go cut down some lodgepole pines and I can build something around both of these water tanks. What you're about to see is not in chronological order. I had already unloaded the firewood off the trailer so I could go pick up the tank. But what you're about to see took place over 4 hours. I stacked all the firewood on the piece of concrete that was basically excess concrete left over from the shop floor pour. And I wanted to stack this firewood in such a way where it wouldn't conflict with pouring the driveway concrete, and then on top of that look good in the process. So I took my time. Shortly after getting the trailer unloaded, I ran down and picked up that water tank. On the way down there, I stopped and got me a bacon burrito from one of the local restaurants that I routinely get food from, and by the afternoon, I was in the throe of food poisoning. Stuff last. Toss it right down here. At this exact moment, I'm sicker than I've probably ever been, at least that I can remember. I'm thinking it's some sort of a salmonella poisoning or something like that. So the last few days have been pretty rough for me. I finally grabbed Reed and Callie and Rhett to give me a hand getting it finished up, and they helped me work hard on it for about an hour, and we ended up with a beautifully stacked wood pile, which is probably close to what we'll need for this winter, but I'm going to try and add about 30% to it before snow flies, just to be safe. So again, we're not in chronological order here because the firewood is not stacked. But I spent quite a bit of time getting used to the excavator working on this place where I want to pour more concrete. Because of that 4-way blade on the front of the excavator, I was able to do quite a bit that I haven't been able to do thus far. There's a couple of uneven spots that hold water when it rains, and I'm trying to make these go away in the process. My hope is that if I do this right, that whenever we have significant rain, it'll just run straight down the driveway.
Babe, do you want to see something exciting?
Sure.
Come here. Look down in here.
Oh my goodness. We grew a zucchini.
That is a. There's more than one. There's this. Oh, two. There's two.
If you can't grow zucchini.
If we got two zucchini out of this whole thing, we're good, right?
No. We got some kohlrabi there that's doing good. All the tomato plants are doing
And
good.
there's a little bell pepper.
Bell pepper lettuce is doing good. Cabbage. Zucchini might be the easiest plant on the planet.
Well, I can grow something.
Your beets are doing good.
Carrots.
Carrots, we're gonna get
Look,
3 carrots
we're
out
gonna
of this
get 3
deal.
carrots. Maybe 4.
So next year, what are we gonna do different?
The beans and we need to do a better trellis with the beans. Obviously, I don't know what I'm doing.
We're just barely. That lettuce could probably be trimmed over there, no?
So look at this one.
Same thing. Don't you start trimming them pretty quick?
Yeah, these are bitter. We have to just test them, see if they're ready.
Have you tried it? Are they bitter?
A little bit. Put a little ranch on it, you're good to go.
What do you say, dog? What do you say?